Okay, we are heading into the webinar right now. Let's see, we have some participants and we're ready to go. So just want to start with some quick housekeeping announcements and then we will get started. Pull that up. You can ask questions through the Q&A to the presenters at any time, and they will address the questions out loud. Your camera and microphone are off, so you're muted, your video's off, the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can sign up for more sessions. This is one of the many presentations offered through InACAC and StriveScan. So check out the schedule InACAC, inacac.org. And also these presentations will be recorded and available at the same website, inacac.org. Thanks for joining us, and I'll let the presenters take it away.
All right, thank you very much for that. We are panelists representing Ivy Tech Community College, Lafayette Bloomington, and we have representatives from Purdue University, West Lafayette, and Indiana University, Bloomington. My name is Ivan Hernandez. I'm the Director of Admissions at Ivy Tech Community College at the Lafayette campus. I've been here about 20 years now, and suffice it to say, when I started in 2000, there were very limited options for transfer in Indiana. And so fast forward 20 years, we're here and we have these great partnerships. And so we're going to kind of individually introduce ourselves, and we'll start with the presentation.
Awesome. Thanks, Ivan. My name is Estella O'Neill. I'm the Director of Admissions at Ivy Tech Community College here in Bloomington. So if you're specifically thinking about the Bloomington location, I'm more than happy to answer questions. I've been with Ivy Tech for about 8 years, and I myself was actually an Ivy Tech student and transferred to Indiana University. So I have that perspective, and if you have any questions about what that experience was like, I would also be more than happy to answer those questions.
Hi everyone, my name is AJ Frigo. I'm a Senior Assistant Director for Indiana Relations and Undergraduate Admissions at Purdue University. I specifically run our Pathway to Purdue Agriculture with Ivy Tech program, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on.
Hello and welcome. My name is Kelly Wagner. I'm the Associate Director of Transfer Recruitment, and I have been in the Office of Admissions for about 12 years, with about 5 of them being specifically working with transfer students. I work on the Bloomington campus and work very closely with the Ivy Tech Bloomington campus as well, with Estella in the admissions office, as well as the academic advisors on her campus. So happy to be here and glad we can give you some more information about the transfer process.
Just a quick little housekeeping. We are going to go through this pretty quickly because we want to have enough time for questions at the end. You can definitely use the Q&A button to write down your question, and then we'll answer your question as soon as the presentation's over. You're muted, Kelly.
Sorry. So to get started, we want to make sure that there is an understanding of the different ways that we partnership with the different campuses. There's a lot of transfer information out there, and so we're going to cover that slowly as we go through the presentation today, but the specific partnerships that we have are listed here. And so the first one is Hoosier Link. Hoosier Link is a program that incoming freshmen will apply to Indiana University first, and through a invitation process, we work with the Ivy Tech campus, and we review different students who are interested in participating in the Hoosier Link opportunity. The actual opportunity is living on campus at IU Bloomington and taking classes at Ivy Tech. There's also a new community program where, depending on your county, you can live at home and then attend the Ivy Tech campus in Bloomington as another opportunity for the Hoosier Link. If you complete the Hoosier Link program, in doing so in 1 semester or in 3, you can be guaranteed admission into the IU Bloomington campus. So there are requirements depending on which semester you transfer in, and this page here, the Hoosier Link page, will give you all those details. The perks that go along with this, as I mentioned, guaranteed admission. You also have advisors helping with the questions that you have and guiding you through the process. You also have a support system that will monitor your progress and stay in touch to make sure that you're working towards those goals. And then you can also pre-register for the IU courses that will come when you are transferring in each according semester, either one semester or 3. So it's a great opportunity for students who may not be readily admissible to the IU campus. We would extend you that opportunity of Hoosier Link and work with you from there.
Okay, perfect. And the next program that we have is very, very similar. It's the Pathway to Purdue Agriculture program. This is a partnership between Purdue University, West Lafayette, our main campus, and our College of Agriculture specifically, and Ivy Tech Community College Lafayette. More information can be found in our link to our website, or the easiest way to find it is just to Google Pathway to Purdue. You'll be able to find it pretty simply there. It's going to have all the details about what this program looks like. The goal of this program, which is now a decade old, was to specifically increase access for students wanting to pursue agriculture. And so, like I said, Ivy Tech Lafayette specific campus and Purdue University West Lafayette have partnered with this program. So students can apply to this program right off the bat if they're interested in this. So really cool perks to this program. You get to live on Purdue University's campus. You get to participate in all the Purdue University events. You are essentially a student at both campuses, both Ivy Tech and Purdue University. All of our students are required to live in a learning community, so you'll be surrounded with other students in the exact same program. You get free access to our city bus, which will take you to and from our campuses. Our campuses are about 8 miles apart, so it's truly not too far apart in Lafayette and West Lafayette, Indiana. Another big perk of this is that you actually get your financial aid and information through Ivy Tech. So Ivy Tech has more affordable tuition, which is a big win for students going through this partnership program. After 2 years, you will have an associate's degree from Ivy Tech, and then you will be able to have guaranteed transfer admission to our agricultural programs at Purdue University. Along the way, you'll have advisors at both campuses and support systems at both campuses, and all the contact information you may need is listed throughout there. It's a really simple process when you're applying, essentially. You will just apply to Ivy Tech Lafayette. You will apply to Purdue University as a non-degree applicant, which is all listed on that website page under eligibility. And then number 2 would be completing the Pathway to Purdue enrollment request form. So those 3 links will take you exactly where you need to go, and you'll be one step closer to a great partnership program that will earn you an associate's degree and then potentially a bachelor's degree when you finish. So that's just a little bit about it, but all of our contact information is on that page.
So I would like to talk about our ASAP program, which is an accelerated program that we have at several Ivy Tech campuses. It's a degree program that you can earn an associate's degree in 11 months. It's a very competitive program. It's probably our most academically rigorous program that we have, just because you earn an associate's degree literally in less than a year. There is several kind of extra steps that you would have to get into this program as far as the interview process, recommendations from the high school and things like that. They work in really close-knit cohorts, and so average about 20 students a year. And these students kind of work together as a team and kind of help each other out. They also get a full-time staff member. Typically, it's the director of that program, and a full-time faculty member as a mentor. And typically, the faculty person teaches a good portion of some of the classes, depending on the students that are interested in the different areas. This program, because of its rigor, they have a very high transfer rate to going to four-year institutions. This program, statewide, has also been showcased in Time Magazine due to its high graduation rate. Typically, it hovers around a 96% graduation rate, which is pretty high for a community college. But a lot of that, again, has to do with the mentor process that they do. They typically meet with either the staff member or the faculty every week to get updates and to make sure that they are available to answer any questions or concerns. We realize that taking these accelerated classes right out of high school is, you know, a little bit non-traditional that you would see at a four-year institution or even a regular Ivy Tech degree. And so that's why they have these mentors available to these students. The nice thing is every Friday, they typically have what's called Enrichment Day. And what they do can vary from going to a workshop or doing some kind of volunteering, which they've done in the past, to things that are really fun to do. This past 2 weeks ago, actually, they went down just to kind of blow off steam a little bit, and we're throwing axes, ninja stars, all kinds of knives. I saw in a video, but it was just a way to get together. And during this time of COVID, it's very difficult and very challenging, but they are finding ways of actually getting together for their enrichments. And so again, this is available at select Ivy Techs throughout the state. But if you're interested, there is a interest form that you fill out first. And then basically you would be contacted by the director of the ASAP program.
Awesome, thank you, Ivan. So as you can see from these three programs mentioned by Kelly, the Hoosier Link program, Pathway to Purdue, and the ASAP program, these are really great opportunities for you to plug into Ivy Tech as a stepping stone and then continue on to a four-year institution. So in keeping in mind with that, we also offer what we call our transfer as a junior program. So this is a way for us to be able to allow you to start taking classes at Ivy Tech and then eventually transfer to that four-year institution. An advantage of completing this program is that once you're accepted at that four-year institution, all 60 credits from your program are guaranteed to be accepted at that institution. So as you can see, we have a lot of those programs, typically ones that a lot of students need to take those general education courses for. So whether you are in a business administration or perhaps a biology program, you may be taking the same type of classes such as English 111, which is our English composition class, maybe a communications class, and some social sciences and behavioral sciences courses. I do want to add that if maybe you've already taken some dual credit classes, or maybe you're in an ACP class, or are currently taking any other college level courses, those courses could apply towards the transfer as a junior program. And that could allow you to complete your transfer certificate, which is those 30 credit hours at an even faster rate. So you do have several options to be able to use Ivy Tech as a stepping stone if you're thinking that cost is something that you have to be mindful of. Ivy Tech does have the lowest tuition in the state, and we do that to be able to allow you to get to wherever you need to go, whether your end goal is a four-year institution or just making sure that you meet those requirements for a specific program. We want to be here to support you in any way that we can. So this transfer as a junior program is a great way to do that.
So AJ has mentioned some of the perks that are available. What we'll go through is just kind of the perks that we kind of thought we'd like to showcase on our different campuses. One of the ones that I'm actually really interested in and personally interested is because my son is actually taking advantage of the first step here. But Ivy Tech students are eligible to join Purdue University bands, and that could be the marching band. I believe they have 3 different pep bands, and then they have symphonic bands and things like that. Ivy Tech students just basically have to be a student at Ivy Tech and meet the requirements to go into one of the bands, which would require an audition. And typically they would do that, especially if you're interested in the marching band, in the summer during Purdue's STAR, which is when they register for classes as freshmen. If you're accepted into the bands, you do have to take 1 credit hour of a band class at Purdue, which students would have to pay on their own. unless there's financial aid available as far as a refund through Ivy Tech. But that is one of the perks that we have. Students at Ivy Tech Lafayette are eligible to purchase tickets for Purdue Convocations, which is a great kind of program that they have where they bring in concerts or professional singers, concerts, bands, Broadway plays, things like that. And Ivy Tech students, again, have access to purchase those tickets alongside Purdue students at a student rate at Purdue University. They also have what's, basically first dibs at the tickets, because with the convocations, they usually open it up to the community. But again, Purdue students and Ivy Tech students have first kind of dibs at the tickets, and they pay the same low price. Again, with Purdue West Lafayette and Ivy Tech Lafayette, there's partnerships with different organizations on campus. The cultural centers have been very open to our students, inviting them on campus, inviting them to public events and things like that. Again, with COVID, it's a little different right now, but hopefully when things come back to normal, we'll definitely do that. Another example is our student veterans organizations. In the past, they've both combined to host a golf outing where they raise money for local charities, especially for the veterans organizations in the area. Ivy Tech Bloomington students, they can actually attend Indiana University Bloomington athletic events and get the student price with student ID. Now, again, due to COVID this year, only family members are allowed to see IU athletics. But again, this is something that hopefully once we get past this, it's something that a student can take advantage of. Ivy Tech students in the Bloomington area can take advantage of the free bus service with an ID in Bloomington. And that's something that is also available here at the Lafayette campus, which Ivy Tech and Purdue students are able to ride free with their ID using the public transportation called Lafayette City Bus. There's other ones that are around, but for the most part, these are the ones that we really wanted to showcase. And I think we'll just talk about each of the links here individually by campus.
Yeah, so at Indiana University, we have a lot of different opportunities for students to check out what we have to offer. They are all listed and updated frequently on our visit options page, so check there for the most recent opportunities. But one of the ones that I want to mention, because it's specific to transfer students, is Transfer Tuesdays, and we offer them every week at alternating times. So one week it'll be at 2 p.m. and the next time it'll be at 5 p.m. And that's because we understand that as a transfer student, you might have different schedules, whether it be a work schedule or a school schedule. We want to be flexible with you. If you attend a Transfer Tuesday event, we will articulate any credits that are not on our credit transfer service website, and we'll go over that in just a moment. But if you have a transcript that is not from Ivy Tech, because we have all of our Ivy Tech classes listed there, but any other institution, maybe you took some dual enrollment classes in high school and they're not listed on that website, you can go to a Transfer Tuesday and have us articulate an unofficial transcript or an official transcript, and we will get you that information back to you without having to apply to the institution first. So that's a great opportunity. We also partner with the ASAP program and visit their classroom, as well as have an on-campus visit so that they can get familiar with what IU has to offer. And there are other opportunities that we do each year, whether it's visiting a classroom because they have invited us, or it's part of a TSAT program and we're going to like an IT clinic as a visit, or IT club, sorry. There's a lot of different opportunities that we're looking for to get out there and talk to you, the transfer student, and help you make your decision.
Awesome. So similar to what Kelly mentioned, Ivy Tech Bloomington also has a dedicated landing site listed up there on your screen, just /Bloomington/contact us. So that has been updated to provide you with flexibility on whatever your preferred method of visiting might be. Of course, right now, a lot of our visits are going to be virtual. So similar to this webinar that you have been attending, but we can also do one-on-one meetings. So if you prefer to talk about your specific situation with an admissions counselor, we can certainly accommodate that. If you prefer to communicate with us via email or you'd like to schedule a phone call, we can also do that as well. In non-COVID times, we also host pretty big Go Ivy Days, which are campus visit events where you can come to campus and learn about different programs. So we typically provide pizza for you along with some Ivy Tech swag. And depending on what program you're interested in, we usually have other institutions, whether Kelly from IU or other universities, who can also talk to you about what a transfer partnership might look like if you were interested in transferring to that institution. So I definitely encourage you to check that out. And if anything, you can always give us a call or send us an email and we can schedule something to make it work for your schedule.
So at the Lafayette campus, we typically just have our contact information. We encourage people to schedule appointments with us to tour. We also accept group appointments as well. However, again, with COVID, we're very limited to how many people we can have on campus at one time due to social distancing. But typically we can pretty much handle a large crowd. Just to give you an idea, every year, one of the local middle schools actually sends their whole 8th grade to us to visit, which is about 400 people, which we kind of split in half for that. But we also are available for individual appointments. You can come to campus for individual appointments right now. We also do virtual appointments as well. Depending on basically any issues that you may have, if the school allows it. If you can't make it to campus for whatever reason, we're willing to drive to the school and have appointments with you at your school because a lot of times transportation may be an issue. So we work with the high schools in doing that as well. One thing that we didn't mention also is that some of the Ivy Techs have college connection coaches at your high school that can assist you with looking at the different universities as far as transfer. So if you're interested in going to Purdue, but for example, maybe perhaps funding is an issue, you can work with a college connection coach at your high school to work on transfer options as well. So that's just something that is available to students that have the opportunity to use a college connection coach from Ivy Tech that's embedded in the high school.
Perfect. And then for Purdue University, very similar to what everyone else has already said, you know, finding our visit page is pretty simple. For all of our pages, you could likely just Google visit and then whatever campus you're interested in. Everything's pretty much moved virtual for Purdue University. We do have some on-campus tours. They're going to be in really small spaces essentially, or outdoor but really small group numbers. Those are starting on the 12th of October, so just a couple days. So if you're interested in getting a walking tour of our campus, you can absolutely do that. And then our Office of Admissions is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and there's always 4 admissions counselors staffing that at any point in time. So you know, we just encourage you to practice social distancing, wear your masks, and then you can come to campus and speak with us. I think that's the best way if you're interested in transferring, is to get in contact with both institutions. Talk with somebody at Ivy Tech, talk with somebody at Purdue University, and make sure you're understanding both ways of how that will work. And at Purdue University, I always like to say, you know, we're admissions counselors. We're going to counsel you on getting admitted. So you have to come and speak with us. Let us help you. Don't be blindsided by anything. So come and visit our office. We take walk-ins Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We are doing walking tours. And then we also have virtual visit opportunities for every single one of our 11 academic colleges and schools at Purdue University, all listed on that website.
Awesome. So we've talked a little bit about the different transfer partnerships and ways that you can connect with each of our institutions to learn more, either one-on-one or in a group setting. But if you are just really eager and anxious to go ahead and get started, we do have some different links that you can go to in order to get a little bit more information that would be relevant to you as an individual. So for Ivy Tech, pretty easy. If you just go to ivytech.edu/transfer, you'll be able to see all of the information about those TSAP programs, that Transfer as a Junior program that I talked about. It'll also highlight different opportunities that you can take advantage of at Ivy Tech. If maybe you think that you only want to be at Ivy Tech for 1 semester or 1 year, this page will kind of highlight what that may look like and what different programs are covered under that. So that's ivtech/transfer, and you'll be able to see all of the different transfer partnerships. So of course, you'll see Purdue and IU highlighted on there, but you will also be able to see other institutions that we also partner with.
One thing that I wanted to point out very quickly too is something that's new this year is guaranteed admissions programs at Ivy Tech and the partnerships that we have with other institutions. This is the website for it. Each individual university has different partnerships, but the important thing to remember about this is actually guaranteed admission. This is something that is fairly new to Indiana, to be honest, where you basically pick one of the degree programs that's eligible for guaranteed admissions, graduate with 3.0 GPA as specified by Ivy Tech, and then basically when you're ready to transfer, it's automatic admissions for that.
Yeah, that's a great point. And a segue to there, with Purdue University, we have a bunch of links, but again, the easiest thing you can do to normally find these pages for Purdue is just Google Transfer Purdue. That very first link is the transfer student checklist. That's the only one we'll kind of show, because everything you need to know about transferring is built into there. So each one of those tabs is going to have relevant information to you. Minimum GPA and course requirements will show you every single major and what the requirements are. It tells you about whether or not you need an SAT or ACT score, what the minimum high school course requirements are. I mean, it's all built into one place. The one important piece I would encourage you to look at as a transfer student or even as a prospective transfer student is the transferring credit tab. That tab specifically has two tools that you can use. The transfer equivalency self-service. If you did a lot of dual credit in high school, or you're planning on taking courses and you want to know what they're going to come in as, or you're a current, sophomore at Ivy Tech looking to transfer over, that's self-service. You can put every course you've taken from any college and put the plan of study for Purdue University, whatever major you want to pursue, whatever minor you want to pursue, concentration, and it will actually give you a PDF with time to graduation. Ivy Tech is our most common transfer location, so students are always coming over from Ivy Tech, and it's a great partnership that we have with taking all their credits essentially. So it's a really great program for students, and if you want to know more about what that looks like, you can use that database. The transfer application's built in there as well. And then also, if you perhaps maybe you have a GED or you have a situation where you didn't do so great in high school, but you're looking at opportunities to do better or to get to a four-year degree, the very last tab on that is a community college roadmap that will actually help you and tell you what you should be taking to be able to be admissible to Purdue University. So that's it for Purdue University. There are many more tabs within that, but that's a great place to start if you're interested.
If I can interject real quick, AJ, I just wanted to say that again, when I first started here, we had a transfer list of classes from Ivy Tech to Purdue University, and there was about 8 classes. That was the amount of credits that transferred. So, this if my 2000 self me saw this, my mind would be blown right now. So that's where, as AJ said, we're great partners with the different flagship universities and the regional campuses.
Absolutely.
All right, so at Indiana University, we do have a lot of tools that you can use. And so if you want to click on that first one, this is our transfer website, and it is going to, much like the Purdue website, give you links to all the different places that you need to go to get the information that you need. With that, if you scroll down and you hit on the step 1, you will find that we do have guaranteed admission. Now, this is a little bit different than the guaranteed admission that you will find at our regional campuses, but you will find there that if you are meeting the eligibility requirements from an accredited 2 to 4 year school and meet our published admission criteria, you're going to have guaranteed admission. So with some of the other campuses, you will find that there's program specific. With the IU Bloomington campus, as long as you're meeting our posted admission criteria, it doesn't matter what program you're looking at, you will be a guaranteed admission student. So for example, if you review the admission standards on that second accordion, you're going to find that if you're an in-state student with a 2.3 GPA and 26 transferable hours, you're going to, the second one right there, yep. You're going to find that your 26 transferable hours, 2.3 GPA in-state with a competitive or a strong academic semester before transferring, you're going to be guaranteed admission. Now, we do say, you know, the posted eligibility requirements, because if for any reason that they would change, you would see them change here. That is basically a straightforward process for our transfer students, regardless of what major you're considering. We also do have a credit transfer service website that you can find on this, linked on this page. And that is going to give you the articulations of any school. Of course, Ivy Tech is going to be a great one to choose from, because we have articulated every single course that we will accept from Ivy Tech, regardless of which campus you are going to be on. And so that really makes it easy for our students to find courses that are going to get credit at IU. Additionally, we have a IGPS degree map. So once you use this website and you find out what your course is called at IU, you can plug it into the degree map and find out exactly where you are in that degree and how long it will take in order to graduate with that particular major. So these are tools that we go over specifically in our Transfer Tuesday, whether they're virtual or not. And so you want to make sure that you're taking us up on that opportunity. This is the degree map. Again, you just fill out this form, and depending on your major, you're going to get all that information for your time to degree. And last but not least, on that site, you're going to see that we have the TSAP requirements. Although there are, I think, 20 some odd TSAPs now, IU Bloomington has about 14 of those. And that's because some of the TSAPs are not majors that we even offer on our campus, so we're not going to be able to offer a TSAP for them. But with that said, if you scroll down, you're going to see the 14 different majors that you can apply to, and it'll give you the admission requirements for those programs. And so if you are interested, you just have to make sure you're taking those courses, meeting those requirements. Send us your application by June 1 and your final transcript by July 1, showing that you have completed the TSAP and the general education core on that transcript. And then you will be guaranteed to graduate in 2 more years at IU. So you have to meet the admission criteria, but then you are guaranteed to graduate in 2 additional years. So it's a great program. Again, all you have to do is Google search IU transfer, and you're going to find all this information as well, and more.
I just wanted to add that at Ivy Tech Bloomington, our admissions and academic advisors have partnered with Indiana University and often receive training from Kelly on how to utilize these resources. So really, we use this on the front end if we know that this is even a possibility for you. We're using the same tools that you would be utilizing from home to help educate you on how to use them and make sure that we are signing you up for the courses that are going to give you the most optimal time at Ivy Tech to transfer to Indiana University.
Thank you for mentioning that. I think that's one thing that may get overlooked in a lot of conversations that students have when they're considering different institutions, is just how much conversation do you have with the local campus community college. And that is very important. And I can say, yes, every semester I meet with Estella and her staff, as well as the academic advisors, to make sure that we go over anything that may have changed or any questions that they're receiving from their transfer students, so that we can get those solved and the students on their way a lot faster, as opposed to waiting for an email or a phone call to be responded. Although we're very quick, having the advisor know those things up front, it makes it even faster.
Yes, along the same notes there, in Lafayette, we do have a transfer advisor whose sole responsibility is to help students transfer. She even sponsors a transfer fair, where it's basically a college fair that we have. And because of our proximity to Purdue and the fact that, just like AJ had said, that the most common transfer student is an Ivy Tech student, Purdue not only brings their general admissions people, but they also bring a lot of their program people to talk to our students about specifically transferring in. So there's a lot of partnerships going around the state.
Awesome. So we do have some questions from students, so I wanted to go ahead and get started on those. And as they are appropriate for each of the different panelists who are represented here, they'll be able to answer that. So our first question is about admission to Purdue University. So AJ, a student asked, can I get admission from high school to Purdue without my SAT because I only have a specific score?
Yeah, that's a great question. So if you're interested in the Pathway to Purdue Agriculture program, we do not require a test score to apply to Purdue University for the Pathway program. You will use your test score specifically or an AccuPlacer, and if that's changed, Ivan can kind of let us know, but you will use a placement exam to be determined program ready for Pathway to Purdue Agriculture. If you're just talking generally with Purdue University, we don't have any minimum SAT or ACT score requirements to be admitted. And this year we're also test flexible, which means you do not have to send us an SAT or an ACT score based on COVID. So hopefully that answers your question.
Just to piggyback on that, AJ, we do now have a new testing tool. We had to basically kind of switch gears because of COVID. So it's called knowledge assessment now. And the nice thing about knowledge assessment is that you can actually do this from home. There are a couple steps that you have to do, and it's a way that basically it's a little bit more convenient for students to use. And you still have to meet eligibility as far as being what's called program ready, meaning for the Purdue Pathway to Agriculture, meaning that you have to be eligible to take English Composition 111, which is the first kind of freshman English class. And at this point, it's Math 043, which is it's a kind of an algebra class that builds into the higher level Math 136, which is a requirement for the Pathway to Purdue. So again, it's called knowledge assessment, and it's a little bit more user-friendly.
Awesome. So a follow-up question is, what is the required GPA for incoming freshmen at Purdue? And AJ, if you have maybe a website that students could reference to be able to find a specific GPA if they're interested in various programs.
Yeah, so for Purdue University, if you're looking for freshman admission to come to Purdue University, there are no minimum GPA requirements or SAT or ACT. We only ask that you have minimum high school course expectations, which is listed on our freshman admission criteria. And then if you're interested in transferring, every single one of Purdue's transfer programs has a specific GPA requirement. And some of them also have additional required courses that you have to have. So an example of that is if you want to go into marketing at Purdue, you'll need a 3.5 GPA in college, and then you'll need a college level calculus course with a B or higher. That's just one example of our 230 majors. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you. Our next question is a student who is perhaps thinking about completing her biology degree at Ivy Tech. They are wondering if they would still have scholarship opportunities available to them once they transfer to Indiana University.
So yes, we didn't go over scholarships, but we do in our Transfer Tuesday presentation. So if you want specific information to see those websites, please attend to that Transfer Tuesday. But yes, there are transfer scholarships. They are not as many or as robust as our incoming freshmen, so I will say that. But there is the Phi Theta Kappa, which is the Community College Honor Society. I have had many students that had this extended to them at Ivy Tech, and they didn't realize the benefits that went along with it. There is a membership fee, but it far outweighs the scholarship that you would be eligible for if you transfer to IU. So if you transfer with the Phi Theta Kappa opportunity at Ivy Tech, you will automatically receive a $3,000 scholarship, $1,500 per semester for 1 year. There are some other scholarship opportunities on our scholarship webpage, and you can certainly check that out, as well as the non-IU scholarships. So those are scholarships from businesses and organizations that contacted us, and we vetted them, and they range for your major to your geographic location to a hobby that you might have, and have all sorts of different funding options and deadlines. So make sure you're checking out our scholarship webpage for more information, or attend our Transfer Tuesday and we can go over those.
Perfect. Our next question is an early graduate from high school. won't be 18 until around April. Student is wondering if they can still apply to Ivy Tech for the spring semester. So absolutely, there is no age requirement to attend Ivy Tech. The one thing that we just kind of take a look at is that you have graduated from high school and are no longer being counted for your high school institution if you are interested in financial aid. So if you are interested in attending either Lafayette or Ivy Tech Bloomington, just make sure that you check out our website and connect with one of our admissions counselors, and we can certainly guide you through that process. And then it looks like our last question is in terms of requirements for medical school at Purdue. AJ, I don't know if you have that answer, if you can provide us with a website that the student can research.
So with medical school specifically, it's going to depend on what program you're wanting to go into. Purdue doesn't have a specific medical school. We do have a partnership with IU Medicine, and IU Medicine does participate on our campus. I think there's 3 IU Medicine opportunities. Maybe Kelly can correct me if I'm wrong, but Purdue does have one. So first off, you would need to figure out which aspect of medicine you want to pursue. Med schools have different requirements based on what tests you need, what courses you need, how many years of or semesters of organic chemistry you need. So it really just depends. If you're looking right now as just a high school student wanting to apply, you can basically go any route. You know, you can definitely go to a community college and knock those courses out. You can go to Purdue University or IU and knock those courses out. So yeah, there aren't any specific minimum requirements without knowing more information, I guess, about what your situation is. You can always contact our admissions office. Our email address is admissions@purdue.edu. I will type that to you. And then also any of these other campuses could be able to speak with you about what they can help you with in that process.
Yeah, at IU, we have a health professions and pre-law center. And once you become an admitted student and indicate that you're interested in the health field or the law field, they will work with you to make sure you're taking the right courses as an undergraduate student in order to be eligible for the graduate programs and the MCAT and LSAT tests. So basically you can graduate with your undergraduate in any type of major you want, history, music, whatever it might be, and just make sure you're taking your sciences along the way. And the Health Professions and Pre-Law Center will make sure that you're taking the right sciences to be eligible for that next level of education.
All right, so we are at 45 minutes. I'd like to thank everybody on behalf of my panelists. We have our emails up, and again, this will be sent to you, and we appreciate you taking the time to seeing our panel. Thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
A few last minute announcements if you're still there. There is going to be a quick survey when you close your window. So it's just 4 questions. If you could take that, that will help us out as we plan for future events. And you are welcome to sign up for more sessions at inacac.org. And again, the recording of this session will be available. Thank you for everyone for joining us and to the presenters today. Bye.